Hello, welcome to Jessie at Home and the Stitchopedia. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do a long tail cast on. So a long tail cast on, you're using basically two pieces of yarn at the same time. So you're going to fold your yarn in half to make the cast on. First, you need to pull off a section of yarn to be the tail, the long tail. And to determine how long that needs to be, I've always been told you need about 1 inch for every stitch, which works pretty well for like a worsted weight. If you're talking something really lightweight with a really small hook, a small needle, you might not need a whole inch. If you're talking a really heavyweight yarn with a much wider needle, you might need more than 1 inch. But most of the time I figure about 1 inch per stitch, and that works. So if I'm doing 12 stitches, I'll do 12 inches, you know. You can imagine that when you're going into something where you're casting on hundreds of stitches, you end up with a really long tail. And I usually make sure to give myself lots of extra, because if you have to cast on 300 stitches and you've cast on 250 and you run out of tail, things get really sad. So, to show the long tail method here, first you're going to pull off some yarn. So we're just going to pull off a decent sized tail here. And then what you're going to do is this part of the yarn over here is still attached to the ball. This part up here is my tail. I'm going to put the ball side over my pointer finger and the tail side over my thumb, and then I'm going to hold on to all of that yarn. Okay, however is comfortable for you to hold on to all of that yarn, so that you have ball side over here, tail side over here. Okay, now you take your hook, your needle, and place it on top of the yarn, and then twist the yarn over like that. So place the needle on top of the yarn and go kind of towards the thumb and around to twist the yarn onto the needle. Let me show you one more time. On top of the yarn, give it a twist. This is actually your first cast on stitch. Some people will add we'll put a slip knot and just slide the slip knot on here. Go ahead and do that if that makes you more comfortable. This works for me. Now, you see how I have, if I kind of pull this down, it makes a cross. Okay, so I have this yarn coming off of my thumb. The part on the needle is at top, and the part at the bottom of my thumb is the tail. And then I have this yarn over here that's still attached to the ball. I'm going to come underneath right here. So you see there's a loop. See that loop? Okay. Underneath. And then from the top, I'm going to grab the yarn from the ball and pull it through that loop. Okay? So, underneath, grab this yarn, pull it through, and then you kind of tighten that up a little bit. And you often have to readjust how you're holding things. Underneath the yarn at the thumb, creating a loop, grab the yarn from the top, from the index finger, pull it through the loop. Tighten things up. Okay. Underneath the yarn at the thumb, over top of the yarn under the finger, pull it through. Underneath the yarn at the thumb, over top of the yarn coming off your index finger, pull it through. I'll show you a couple more. Underneath, over top, pull through. Underneath, over top, pull through. Underneath, over top, pull through. Okay, and that is your long tail cast on. So you can see the tail gets a little smaller as you go, and this is of course still attached to the ball. Oopsie, still attached to the ball of yarn there. That's your long tail cast on. Thank you for watching.